Welcome to a Tuesday edition of Sunrise Extra. Ladies and gentlemen, please know that the role of Brenda Braxton today will be played by K.L. Wambacher. He is the president and general manager of the Hops. He's taken up the fourth square there today. Brenda has the morning off, and I think I'm okay to say that she's off today after receiving her second vaccine shot yesterday. So Brenda Braxton, in 2 weeks, will be what is considered fully vaccinated. K.L. Wambacher, we have you on the show today because tonight you are hosting a baseball game at Ron Tonkin Field, where you stand.
Yay.
The first time in 600 plus days that they've been able to play a baseball game at that field. Talking about the Hops, of course. Let me go back, since I brought up Brenda's vaccination. You brought up something during our Sunrise TV show this morning that I thought was interesting. You polled your season ticket holders about whether or not they were going to or whether or not they have been vaccinated. Can you share some of those numbers with us again?
Yes, we asked our season ticket holders just vaccination rates because we were curious if we could start to do vaccinated sections, and we've had a lot of fans wanting to sit next to each other, and over 88% at the time of our season ticket holders are vaccinated, which we thought was an extremely high number. And
you said right now you have about 1,000 season ticket holders on board for the start of the season, and another 700 or 800 people that are in waiting. They said they want to wait until they purchase their tickets until later in the season when things maybe, hopefully, will really open up.
Yeah, we've got about 1,000 season ticket holders. 700 or 800 are coming out now, but the other 300 or so, 200, 300, they'd like to wait till later in the season, yes.
If someone has never been to a Hillsboro Hops game or never seen this level of baseball, KL, kind of explain to them, you know, how it works, what, you know, if they've been to a major league game, like what are the differences, how close do you get to sit, you know, it's just such a great sense of community out there.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, we've got 3,500 seats. They're all close to the action. We have 14 rows, so the furthest away you can sit is 14 rows. You can sit in the front row in the bleachers for $12. And these are high A players, so it's two steps from the big leagues. You go AA, AAA, big leagues. So these are very advanced players. And to be honest, I have never seen a high A baseball game before because in the past we've been short season A, which is more like rookie ball. So I'm excited to see my first high A baseball game tonight. But the talent's going to be unbelievable at this level.
Well, high A, does that, forgive me, I've never heard that. Is that AAA or that's different than AAA? What's high A?
So AAA, then AA, then high A, low A, and then we used to have short season.
Okay.
But Major League Baseball has developed a new player development system, and short season is no longer.
Okay, I do have a hard-hitting question. Are you serving hot dogs tonight?
I knew it.
Hot dogs and craft beer. There's no better place to enjoy a hot dog and a beer than a baseball game.
So that is a good question, Rod. If you want to get newsy with the topic of conversation, because you have to remove your mask, obviously, to eat the hot dog and to drink the beer. But I know you're also requiring fans to wear masks at the game. So what is the deal with the masks this year, KL?
Yeah, masks are required. Right now it's an MLB policy and a state policy. You can eat and drink in your seat, which all the seats are socially distanced and outdoors. So we know, according to the CDC, that's a safe environment for people. We have seats zip tied, so they can't cheat and sit closer to people, unfortunately. So we know this will be a very, very safe environment for people. People are excited to get outside. People are excited to be in this environment again. So tonight's going to be amazing.
Nina, I don't think you've been to a Hops game. Am I right in saying that?
No, I haven't.
And Rod has not.
I know, I'm embarrassed. I don't know why we have not made it.
I'm not trying to put you on the spot in that way. In fact, I'm going to suggest that the three of us take our families at the same time, at the same game. We take our families to the game this year because KL, I have been there over the years, as you know, and I will tell you, the product that this team puts on is top notch. Never mind the baseball, which I love to watch baseball. Everything about it, I love the sport. But just that whole sense from the time you walk into that building till the time you leave, it is like super top quality. And I tell people all the time that are new here. We have a producer on Sunrise Extra, KL. He's a huge Houston Astros fan. Don't give him a hard time about the cheating thing, okay? He hears it all the time.
It's very sensitive.
Yeah.
But he's a huge baseball fan, and I said, Brian, you got to go check out the Hops. Yes, it is single A baseball, 3 levels removed from the majors, but you guys run what I consider to be major league quality production every night during game day. So what do you do to make sure that it is a super fun fan experience night in and night out?
That's great. Well, I appreciate the compliments. And the broadcaster for the Houston Astros used to work for us, Robert Ford. So he worked for us in Yakima. Great connection there. But when we moved to town, we wanted to be a major league team. I mean, we're in the same town as the Blazers and Timbers and Thorns. We have major league sports in town, so we didn't want to act like a minor league team. So we try to do everything first class when it comes to customer service, cleanliness of the ballpark, our food and beverage program. Everything we do, we want it to be first class.
On our stream, we've got a lot of people saying, I haven't been, I want to go. And I'm just curious, what's your basic ticket? I know obviously you got more expensive ones and cheaper seats, but what would you say is a basic to give people an idea how much it costs to come out, KL?
Anywhere from $7 to sit on the berm, throw a blanket down like spring training and bring your kids. Our best seat is $20, so that's where we top out to sit in the front row and real premium seats. So very affordable, great for families, great for young kids. It really is a nice atmosphere.
Yeah.
Hey, KL, when I was talking to your PR guy, Brian Berger, last week, he mentioned that you may have to run at 7:10 this morning. Is that still the case?
Kind of, yes. I'm on a Sport Oregon board, and we have a board meeting this morning, so it's one of those just crazy days.
Well, can I ask you one more question? One more question. It's 7:10 on the dot. I'm going to squeeze this one in. It's something we talked about.
I got time.
Okay, it's something we talked about earlier. The big news today is that we're waiting to see what happens with Washington County, whether or not Washington County will join the likes of Clackamas County and Multnomah County, other Oregon counties going to the extreme risk level. If that were to happen today and it went into effect coming this Friday, how would that impact game day at Ron Tonkin Field?
Severely impact us, and after the last 604 days we've had, or the last year we've had, it would be devastating, to be very honest. We're very nervous about it. Something we can't control. Unfortunately, all we can't control is a safe environment here at Ron Tonkin Field, which we know without question we're going to have tonight. There's been sporting events throughout the country outdoor that have been safe, so we know we can do that here.
Would you still go? So the Thorns are in the same position, and even in a stadium as big as Providence Park, it's only 100 people allowed in the stands. I presume that would be the same for your Ron Tonkin Field. Would you still go on even with 100 folks in the stands?
We don't know yet. We're running the numbers. We would lose money opening the gates with only 100 fans because of the staffing costs that we have just to open the gates. So it would be an extreme challenge for us. We'd lose thousands of dollars just opening the gates with only 100 fans.
Would that just mean only away games then?
What's that again?
Would that just mean only away games? I mean, the league would still continue.
We'd still play. We just have to play with no fans.
Gotcha.
Wow.
It
would be cheaper for us to play the games with no fans.
What if 100 people showed up and they each vowed to have 20 hot dogs apiece? Would that help offset the cost, Gail?
It's funny to me?
If they pay $100 for a ticket each, we'd have a chance.
Number one, Ron has a very simple rule when it comes to the TV interviews, and he went down that path today. Now, first question,
food.
Will there be food? Second question, how much is it going to cost? But I have one more question, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, KL, but I've always enjoyed our conversations both on TV and off TV over the years, and I'm just curious.
Me too.
Thank you. If you got the news today that Washington County is moving to extreme risk, would you be disappointed, understanding, somewhere in the middle? I'm just curious how you would feel, how you would react to that news personally.
Personally, I'd be very disappointed because we have such a great track record throughout the country with outdoor events, and we have data that shows that there's no transmission, virtually no transmission between fans at outdoor venues where you follow the protocols of safely distanced seats and a mask mandate. So there's overwhelming data that says it's safe to be in an outdoor atmosphere with a mask on, socially distanced. So, and we have a vaccination rate with our season ticket holders of 88%. I mean, that's the reason they got vaccinated, was so they could come to Hops games. They've missed it so much. So to take that away from them, I think would be devastating.
Well, you hit one out of the park again for us today, KL. You're always a great guest to have on Sunrise, the TV show, and here on Sunrise Extra. Have fun tonight with your season opener, and we'll keep our fingers crossed here for Washington County and hope that things can remain as they are, at least for the time being.
Yes, thank you guys. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
all right.
Thank you.
KL Wambacher, he is the president and general manager of the Hillsboro Hops. Season opener tonight with 15% capacity allowed for now at Ron Tonkin Field. The question we asked starting this morning on our Sunrise TV show that we continue to ask all of you, are you comfortable right now going back to outdoor venues? And so far, the vast majority of you, 79% as a matter of fact, saying yes, you are. So we'll continue this conversation right now.
Yeah, some people were wondering, are the Hops and the Pickles in the same league? And other people answering them, no. Pickles several levels down from that. But Jeff Lucas wondering, can I just walk up and get tickets to a game? And Harold Jennings answering him saying, no, there are no more walk-ups. Will call has been eliminated. All ticket sales are online. So good viewers, thank you for answering those
They're having
questions.
a conversation while we have a big conversation with KL.
No, I love that. Living in Bend, there's a little team over there called the Bend Elks.
Yep.
And I don't know what league it is, but those types of games are just so fun because the players, move here to play, and they're staying with different families and living in our community, and it's just really cool to support them.
I mean, Drew, to me, it's just as fun as going to a big league game. Yeah. I mean, especially if your kids are little, right? And you're not going to break the bank to go. It's cheaper than going to a movie overall, it sounds like, for a family of four.
I mean, on a summer night out there, especially here, our summer nights are pretty awesome, right? Even if we have a blazing hot day here in the Portland area, when the sun starts to set, things cool down here, right? You're not stuck with that humidity, and you can enjoy a great night at the ballpark. I love those July and August nights out there. And like you said, the food is relatively cheap. The parking is relatively cheap. Getting in is cheap. And I'm comparing this to, say, an experience at the Blazers game. Yeah. No offense, Blazers, I get it. Top-notch NBA franchise. Yeah. But it really is a great family experience out there in Hillsboro.
Yeah, hey, Charlene says, we went to a season training Mariner game in March. People are very distant, and I felt very comfortable being there. Good to know.
Yeah, people are texting us some comments in this one saying, if done properly, yes, she is very comfortable in going to outdoor venues. This one saying, I feel a lot safer at the Timbers game than I do at the grocery store. Yeah, it's outside. It's a huge place. And this one's saying, small, socially distant family and friends events, yes. Big ones, not until I'm fully vaccinated for the safety of others too, not just myself, which won't be for a few weeks yet. So this whole issue with Providence Park, the Thorns on Saturday plays Challenge Cup final. Yeah. It's a huge game for them, and they were really hoping to have 3,800 fans in the stands for the Thorns game on Saturday. But of course, last Friday,
right?
which would be 15% at the high-risk level.
Right.
Multnomah County moved into extreme last Friday. That takes it down for everyone across the board to 100 people. 100 people in Providence Park. Right. And so the National Women's Soccer League asked the governor, hey, will you make an exception? And she said no yesterday. Amanda Fritz, one of our former Portland city councilors, tweeted to the governor saying, please, let the Thorns have these fans. It's outside. Right. People are more vaccinated now. And I think it's because she can't be, I think this is, playing devil's advocate on the governor's side. You can't make exceptions that would be seen as favoritism sure. for pro sports, for, corporate big money, and she's got to kind of keep the same across the board. But it is kind of just like, come on, you're outside. We
can imagine at that stadium, and I don't know the capacity number for a Thorns or a
I think it's like 24,000.
I wanted to say somewhere in the low 20s. So you can imagine spreading 3,800 people out at that stadium would be fairly easy to do without those people being very close to one another, right? Mm-hmm. Masks would still have to be worn, assuming you're not putting food or drink into your mouth. But the Thorns and the Women's Soccer League even said, we won't open concessions. We won't sell food or drink there. If that's a concern. We'll just make it all soccer all the time. Keep your masks on. We just want fans in the stands.
Yeah.
Rod's out. No, just kidding. I gotta have a hot dog and a beer. Come on.
Right. No, I understand, but this is the question. Bigger picture. And we never thought in May of last year that we'd be talking during May of this year about, are you comfortable yet going outside to outdoor events with groups? I mean, I understand an outdoor concert, if you were shoulder to shoulder with people, that still would not be a comfortable situation for a lot of people. But at a sporting event where there are assigned seats and these organizations have a plan in place to spread those seats out, and I don't know what the safe number is. You know, right now we're in high-risk counties. We're talking 15%, which, you know, everyone has their own opinion, right? But 15% sounds like it could be done safely. K.L. Wambacher with the Hops talked about today how they absolutely have a safe plan in place. And he would be, in his words, disappointed if Washington County were to go back to high risk, and he'd have to have only 100 fans at his Hillsboro Hops games, because he feels like they've done everything they need to make sure they can host 15% in absolute safe conditions.
So here's the deal, everyone. So later today, the state or the governor's office is going to send a press release out saying any differences that will change in the risk levels for Oregon counties. Now, none of the 15 that went into extreme status on Friday, the metrics aren't there for them to loosen restrictions. It sounds like we're going to stay in Multnomah and Clackamas County and everywhere else at the level we're at. But again, Washington County could move up in restrictions to extreme. They do qualify, as 9 people with COVID are over that threshold for the metric. So yeah, that could definitely send, and it would start Friday if they were to go into extreme status, and if any other counties would change. So I don't know the Hop schedule, if they just have the game tonight and then
6 in a row. They're supposed to play through, actually they play 6 with the same team through Sunday. So today through Sunday against the very same team, the Everett Aqua Sox at home.
Okay.
And then Monday they're actually supposed to host a doubleheader with Eugene. So it's going to be, you know, right now 7 straight days at Ron Tonkin Field. With
so
baseball.
You would have a chance, I guess, if you can get tickets online, or if you're a season ticket holder, to see them tonight through Thursday. And then we'll see what happens on Friday. Right. Or if you're dragged down to Eugene.
I am curious, and maybe a question for people to chime in on Facebook and our other outlets, but when you have been out to a restaurant, or if you've been to any outdoor venue, do you feel like where you have been, the distancing has been appropriate and the people in charge of the venue have been doing exactly what they were asked to do? Because personally, I would say yes to that. I really haven't been into any setting, indoors or outdoors, where I didn't notice right in front of me all the distancing requirements being adhered to that that the rules have dictated.
The place, like our viewer just mentioned, I guess the place where that comes into question the most is the grocery store. And, you know, not necessarily in the checkout line, which can get crowded, but usually, you have a cart separating you and the next person. Yeah. But, you're looking for cereal down the aisle, and as you're looking for the right box, someone comes up next to you while they're looking for their box, and suddenly you realize we're almost shoulder to shoulder. Not intentionally. Well, I hope they don't intend to do that. But so my point is that, we're not really policing that kind of thing at the grocery stores. People still need to go shopping for food. But I've never felt that way, Rod, to this point at any of the restaurants that we've gone inside to in the last few months. But sometimes, I guess, at the grocery store, I go, I'm getting pretty darn close to these other people in the aisle.
What about when you're checking out, though, Drew? Does that seem distance?
Yeah, because of the shopping cart. I usually roll in with about $200 worth of stuff in my cart, so I got the big cart. I'm not usually in the express line, so I've got at least the cart separating me from the person in front of me, and then another cart behind me separating me from that person.
Yeah, Jeff Lucas says, yes, grocery store is the worst, but I gave up worrying about it. You've got Shireen says, I haven't been to too many restaurants, but when I did, outdoors, I felt comfortable. They did not have walls. Not sure how I'd feel about being closed in a tent, which a lot of restaurants have been using the ventilated tents,
Yeah, we've heard from Christy Shirk, one of our regulars. She says she's been going to high school baseball games. I'm just curious, Christy, if you want to chime in with more. What high school are you watching, and how are those games been? Because I know at some places, the parents are only allowed to watch the games from the outfield. They're actually not allowed to sit behind home plate like you normally would if you could. So, Christy, let us know where you're watching from, what games you're going to, and what that experience has been like. Did you guys share Julie Wyatt's comment yet?
No, I don't believe so.
Because Julie, another Sunrise Extra faithful viewer. Good morning, Julie. She says something that I know a lot of people have expressed, that they have missed outdoor live music the most. And she says that she is going to see one of her favorite Washington bands on the 21st. So here in a couple of weeks, she says it's an outdoor venue, and she is counting on them having everything spaced out pretty well.
Yeah. Vicki Loring says, I've been to many different venues. They have all adhered to CDC guidelines. Their very livelihood depends on protecting themselves and others. And that would be my experience. You can tell that, you know, the businesses know they have to do what they're asked, or they're putting their business in jeopardy. In most cases, I would say. Yeah.
All right, gang, I guess we promised each other, at least I hope we did. I think we did. We promised each other that we'd go to a Hops game.
I think we should. I think that'd be super fun.
And we'll all take off from sunrise.
Yeah, I'm kidding, so we can sleep in.
All right, guys.
All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good Tuesday.